my intro.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, member of the Sunfire Stable show team, with another installment of I Signed Up for the Show Team. What's next? Today is our first entry in our Meet the Breed series. I'm here with Linnea, and she's going to introduce her horse, what his breed is, and any other information that she feels like sharing. So Linnea, welcome.
Thank you. So for those of you guys who may not know Benji, this is Benji. He's been here at Sunfire for the past, 4 years? 4 years, yeah. I think that sounds about right. So he is a Nakota. So Nakotas are not a super well-known breed. There's not a lot of them. Off the top of my head, I would say there's probably less than 1,000 in the world. They come originally out of North Dakota. So back in the days of like open ranching out in the west, they were kind of around the Badlands area. Descended from kind of a mix of ranch horses and Indian ponies. When the West started to get fenced in, private ranches, they got fenced into Theodore Roosevelt National Park and kind of bred exclusively from there. In the probably 50s when it was formed, they initially had some protection, and then the park kind of from there decided they didn't really want them in the park anymore, and that they wanted to kind of introduce some more what you consider as like typical horse stock, more like quarter horses, thoroughbreds, Arabs, that kind of thing, which is when the Kuntz brothers stepped in. They're a pair of brothers that kind of recognized that it had become its own breed at that point, and started buying up as many as they could as they were getting rounded up and removed from the park. So since then, the herd has developed from there. There's the 2 private herds from Frank and Leo. Leo has now passed away, so his herd is no longer. And then there's also the Nakota Horse Conservancy, which was created from there as well. So they currently own the largest herd of full foundation horses in the world. He is full foundation. That means that his descendants go fully back to the park. He doesn't have any other mixed in breeds. Both of his parents came fully descended generations out of the park.
You are a lover.
He's a lover. He's a big sweetheart. So Benji, he's 9 years old. I got him when he was 5. He came from North Dakota, straight from, kind of the semi-feral herds out there. He came out of Leo's herd when Leo passed away. I've done all the training with him for the most part. They had started training him when he was young, and then he kind of went back out with the herd from there. So when I brought him home, he needed to learn all of the handling, human touch, all of that, and he was very nervous about. So we've been training him here at Sunfire for the last couple of years. And now he's to the point where we ride regularly. He works with search and rescue out of Whitewater.
He's certified, correct?
Yeah. So he went through certified training for that to make sure that he's, sane and he's able to handle a lot and be out on the trails safely. And we still have a lot that we're working on, but he's come a very long way. He's about 14, 2 or 3 for his height, so he's just kind of a stout little guy, but he's very curious, very sensitive, kind of a big puppy dog, right?
You are. And he likes sunflower kernels.
Yes, that way we don't get too chunky.
Tell us the circumstances of how what it was like when you brought him home.
Oh, when I picked him up, or like when I brought him? Yeah.
Well.
Oh, yeah. So you go out there, and essentially the way it was with Leo's herd, because he had passed away, they were had to sell all of his horses. So I drove out to North Dakota and basically just went out there with the herd, which is all fairly wild at that point, limited human contact, and picked him out. I picked him out because he's just a cutie, and he was rolling in the snow when I first got there in a big old ball of frost and snow. So picked him out and.
A snow angel.
Yes, a snow angel.
Yeah.
So he was just a little special in that regard, and brought him home, and he initially started at a different barn just for a couple of months just to make sure he wouldn't go over fences or anything, because he was wild at that point, and then came to Sunfire, and we worked on training and saddling and riding from there.
Right, and it's been really a neat progression to see.
Yeah,
you do
he's
a
come a long
lot
way.
of groundwork
Yep.
with him. He
Yes.
is very sensitive. I think
Yep.
he really picks up on your sensitivity.
Yeah.
And he is a
For
love
better
bug.
or for worse.
Right. Well, we've talked about that a few times.
Yes, keeps you in check, which
Yes,
is good. But,
Yes.
right?
Good boy, Benji.
Yes.
So, is he registered? Is there a registry?
There is a registry. So he is registered. Interestingly enough, his papers got a little bit switched around. When he was born, he essentially got mixed up for another colt. So we actually finally just figured out kind of who he actually belongs to. We did some DNA tests, and so he will be registered. We're working on getting the final papers with the correct parents on it. But yeah, they'd been actually looking for him for a little while.
Oh, wow.
Because they kind of they knew they had a colt that looked like him and couldn't figure out where it went, and then we finally established that it was actually him, and his papers had just been filed wrong.
So a reverse search and rescue.
Yeah, so reverse search and rescue. Yeah, so we kind of figured out that he was the one that
very good.
They never had been able to really place and figure out where he went. So we're working on getting his papers, the official, with the correct names. And
that's really neat that you do have a history and that they do too, so they can track where these. I can
track. It's within like 4 generations back to the park. I can pretty much get each of his lines back to the horse that got pulled out of the park by Leo or the conservancy or whoever.
Right, right. Okay, well, I thank you so much for being first, Linnea and Benji. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. It's been a fun ride. Anybody's welcome to ask questions about him or say hi to him. He's a friendly guy. And
he is.
We love helping other people, especially with the groundwork. That's kind of something that we really enjoy and have worked hard on. So we're here for anybody who wants to chat about him or, we're around.
Perfect.
Right?
Thank you so much to both of you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I can get them to Linnea, and she can answer them. Thank you very much. We've got a couple more interviews today with some guest breeds. So once again, thanks to Linnea and Benji for being here. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.